Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. You are listening to the latest installment of Holding Down the Fort with Alejandro Soto. I just switched up the little intro bit. Wow, things are really changing out here in the world. It's crazy, you know. Spring is in the air. I saw some daffodils today. I saw some grape hyacinths popping up in a little pot planter while I was sitting and eating my lunch this afternoon. Changes in the air. And so today I got a real good episode. A friend of mine from the good old days. We go all the way back to the baseball diamond playing Wildcat baseball, if you believe that. Real good times, real good. Friend of mine, Lucas B. Gerke, on the show today. But first, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can subscribe to the Patreon and get these episodes like the evening before they come out on Spotify is really how my schedule is going. There's a free tier. If you sign up for the free tier, you'll get access to the Massive Air pirate radio show that I'm still sitting on an episode that I got to put up there. Sorry, guys. I'll get to it soon. And if you want to support the show, you can give me money. The Patreon is the best way to do that. But just check it out. Join the Fort Brigade or something. Whatever. The Fort Brigade? Maybe that's what I'll call the Patreon crew. We'll see. Fort Brigade. That's the working title for all the Patreon members. What have I got coming up? Let's see. This Sunday, the Sunday after this episode comes out, April 6th, Ecstatic Dance at the Dance Collective. Good Luck Garrett is coming back to do a live DJ set, which I know is going to be awesome. If you've seen him out and about, you know that's going to be a sweet one. So come on down to the Dance Collective this Sunday at 6 for the Ecstatic Dance. And then April 27th, I'll be going down to Lafayette for an Ecstatic Dance. There's a gal down there who's organizing dance church. It's going to be Sunday morning ecstatic dances. So the first one's going to be April 27th. If you're in the Lafayette, Indianapolis area, it's going to be at Duncan Hall. I'll get more information on that to you in the next episode. And then May 10th, Saturday morning, I'll be at the Electric Works Farmers Market. So come on down and check that out. That's always a really fun gig. Lucas Gerke, he is the guest for today's show. He is mainly here talking about his book that he wrote called Internal Damage. I'm currently reading it right now, and it's a wild ride. It's a good one. I'm really enjoying it. It's a long haul, I will say, but it's easy. It's like an easy read, I would say. That's not to say it's like simple or that's not to put it down, but it's like I'm able to really I get invested easily. Maybe that's how I'll put it. It's easy to get caught up in the characters. They're very well thought out and fleshed out. The book is called Internal Damage. You can find links to that in the show notes below. Buy a copy. If you want to email him, he'll give you a copy for free if you're down to give some reviews and tell your friends. GerkeLB@gmail.com is his email. I think I'm going to link that in the show notes as well. I don't think he'll mind me doing that. If his inbox gets overrun with inquiries from fans, I think that'd be a good problem. So I'm going to link it down below so you can get a hold of him if you want a copy in exchange for doing the whole review thing and spreading the word, sharing it with your friends. Then also he did a podcast called Clear Tinted Classics. I'll link to the episode he did on that show below so you can check that out as well if you like. That's all I got. So, without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy this conversation I had with my good old pal, Lucas Gerke. We're rolling. Lucas Gerke, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
So we haven't seen each other in a while. So
No.
this is like a meeting of two great forces.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited.
Me too. And I'm glad you just like reached out to me,
Yeah.
which I think you might be the first person that's done that, and I'm super glad you did, because you wrote a book. I didn't know that. I've read some of it, and I plan to read more. I'm a terrible reader, but I was saying before we started recording, I got glued to it on a Friday night. It was like a super good Friday night.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. And so, I mean, before we get into it, if anybody else wants to reach out to me, feel free. I'm not going to give any guarantees. I was like, okay, yeah, let's get Lucas on the show.
Yeah.
I said to someone, and I'm just telling the truth. I'm not trying to pump you up or make you feel good or sell you to my audience. But I told someone, I think you're still one of the people that I have enjoy talking to the most. Whenever I get, it's been like we went to high school together, and I remember we played Wildcat together for a little while.
That's true. That was the origin. That was the true origin of it.
Yeah, Wildcat. I remember. I'm just gonna lead to give you an introduction.
Oh,
First time I met you, we both showed up early for a Wildcat game, and we were sitting in the dugout, and you were just gabbing as you do.
That is
and
what I
you
do.
said that when this is funny, you said that when you have a child, you wanted to name that kid Gomez, give that kid the middle name Gomez, and you wanted to change your last name to Gomez so that your child's name would be Gomez.
Well, Triple G or Gomez cubed. Yeah.
And I remember that to this day. We were in middle school or elementary school, and I was like, this guy is funny.
I didn't realize that I had started that joke that early in my life.
Early.
I thought I didn't start saying that till later.
No, it was pretty early.
And then I didn't make good on that promise. My kid's name is not Gomez.
I wondered. Yeah, dang it, you have to take another stab at it.
Unfortunately, I have more opportunities. I'm not too old yet.
Yeah, you got time.
If Al Pacino and Robert De Niro can have kids, I'll never feel too old.
So, Lucas, what do you tell the people? What's your thing? What do you do? Yeah.
Like for a living, or
just what are you into? What's your thing, man?
Man,
I mentioned you wrote a book, so if you want to start
true.
there.
So that is one thing.
I definitely want to know about that.
Yeah, there's definitely that. It's interesting. It's like I wrote it a while ago at this point.
Okay.
But it took me like a year and a half to write it initially. Sweet. And then sending it out to beta readers and editors, because I had to get a professional editor and everything, because I don't trust myself like that.
Yeah,
but from that to getting it published was like another year.
Oh, okay.
But it's weird because I technically self-published it, but I'm putting that in quotes. You can't see my quotes; they're not loud enough. But I went through a vanity press, which is basically they assist self-publishing. And frankly, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. But because you have to pay them, instead of them giving you a check to let them publish your book and then making money off of it, you pay them initially. But that being said, it's not really for the money. In this case, because I wanted to get enough sales that actual publishing houses would want to publish future books.
That's fair.
So yeah, I mean, I've sold. I think I've sold a couple hundred copies or something.
Heck yeah.
Which it's only circulating really in Fort Wayne. There's a random bookstore somewhere else in Indiana that bought 10 copies.
Oh, okay,
I
sweet.
don't even know where it is. But other than that, it's just like
Nice.
people I know basically buying the book and then word of mouth. So I'm
Okay.
trying to just spread that further.
Are there any bookstores in Fort Wayne carrying physical copies?
Not on shelves, but you can
Okay.
order it from Barnes and Noble.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Amazon and Barnes and Noble, you can order it through. You can get it through the actual like Vanity Press's website, which does give me more money, but I'm not gonna pressure that. But
Give the money to you instead of Bezos.
I would prefer that.
yeah.
He doesn't need it. I do. I will also say it's at the library.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
sweet.
there's like 2 or 3 copies in circulation at the library.
Really? That's
So yeah,
awesome.
so you can check it out too. If you, I
Oh.
mean, I don't make any money that way, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah. That's neat, huh? So yeah, that's a lengthy process. I mean, that makes sense that it's like a good couple years of
Yeah.
work into it, like for a project that size, and especially like doing it on your own, and with it being your first book, I'm sure there were a
Right.
lot of like just hurdles, just like stuff to work out. Like, and anytime you do something for the first time, you're just figuring out how to do it.
Yeah, and like technically I had written one other book before it, but I just never bothered trying to get it published.
Oh, really?
It was more to just figure out how to write a book.
That's fair.
I had like a few
think that's
people read
smart.
it, and it was pretty cool. But I'm like,
Nice.
it needs too much work. I just want to write a different one.
Yeah, a practice run.
Yeah,
So
basically.
you like got to the end? You like
I wrote the whole thing and
Hell
then
yeah.
revised it like 3 times.
Nice.
But
Yeah, that's
I-
awesome.
It's just kind of hanging out now because I'm like, that's not
Yeah.
the one though.
Maybe once you've released book 10 and you've got
Then
a
I'll
mad
probably
following,
rewrite that
it'll be
one,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
I probably
Oh,
will.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going
That's
to
a
publish
good
it as
idea.
is. If I thought I could do that, I would have just tried publishing it. But
That's
I felt like it needed too much work to like be publishable. So I was like, and I was working on it for a long time, so I kind of got sick of it, to be honest. So
neat. Was that one also like a sci-fi kind of?
no, that one was like it was like young adult like fantasy.
Okay.
That was like way different.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, like, so internal damage is. I mean, do you want to kind of give the synopsis?
Oh, like the blurb?
Yeah, I've only read like 100 pages.
No, that's
so-
fair. No, it's
but also,
hard to.
like, I don't know if I'd be giving anything away.
And I don't either, and that's why it's really hard to blurb because
'Cause it does just like jump right in.
Yeah, and
which
it's
I
like-
thought I think that's kind of what glued me to it was like, and you opened it with humor. I like the opening thing. It's like the
Burgers.
first page is about like, I'm getting a burger. I was like, this is so Gerke. Like, of course, Lucas starts his book with like them talking about getting
and
burgers.
I was like,
don't know.
anyone who
It was-
knows me who's reading this, they're gonna know I wrote it. They're gonna be able to tell that it was me.
Yeah, 100%.
But which I guess isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, it's
But-
like, I mean, it shows your like, I don't know, your style or something.
Well, and my
your
first
heart is in it.
Yeah, and my first draft actually didn't have that section.
Mm-hmm.
My first draft opened. So okay, I guess this is somewhat blurby.
Read,
yes,
read the book if you don't want to.
It'd be
hear
awesome.
any
Yeah, I know. That's
spoilers
what
at
sucks.
this
I'm
point.
like, hey, just read the book and you'll find out what it's about. But
Yeah.
it's like people are like, why would I if I don't know what it's about? But it's sci-fi. Takes place on one of Jupiter's moons, Europa, which is the coolest of Jupiter's moons.
That's
by
what
the
I've
way,
heard.
it's
Yeah.
pretty sick.
Yeah.
It's got microorganisms on it.
No way.
That
You
doesn't
found
play
them?
into the book at all, but that's the thing. But
Just plugging for Europa.
yeah, I guess. For all of you Europa fans out there, like, now I can read that book. But yeah, they live in it's like a city. They call it a habitat, but it's basically a city that's like in a dome that's like climate controlled and has adequate oxygen and stuff. The planet has been the moon's been partially terraformed, but it's more comfortable inside the habitats. But they basically get attacked. They're just having a totally normal day. The characters are just like regular people who are just hanging out, but they get attacked, and there is like kind of a background plot of Europa is at war with the moon Ganymede, which is a different of Jupiter's moons. So they assume it has to do with that, but as the attack unfolds, they like figure out there's a little more to it than just military action. I really feel like that's as far as I can get with talking about what it's actually about. But when my first draft opened with the first bomb dropping, there was no lead up. There was like no preamble. That was like literally the first sentence was like the diner shaking. But I had a lot of people liked that it throws you right in and that it's immediate chaos and that it's really frantic. But they were like, maybe let me like take one breath. And they're like, if it just starts, I'm like, oh, I wasn't even ready to start reading yet, and there's explosions.
Now that sounds even more like you.
I know.
Just throw right into explosions.
I know. I was like, what if that's just like where we get? Because I was like, that's a hook, right? Like, it's like you hook them on page one, get them immediately interested. But they're like, I don't even know who's talking yet.
But I think like the kind of laying out of that, like putting the first bomb like a couple pages in, almost made it more impactful, because like the reader, or at least for me, it was like, oh, this is like a nice, this is a chill day on a colony on a moon. Oh, neat. La-di-da-di. Now I'm like going for a walk with them, and then like I got into that mindset, that like shared mindset with the characters of, oh, excitement for a burger. And then like, then when the bomb dropped, it like, I was in that calm, like excited, carefree mindset. So when that, like the action does hit, in my mind, it caused this like this great flip. It was like, oh, I was even freaked out because I was so chill just a second ago.
Yeah, and I think that was the right way to go.
Yeah,
let's give it. I think I only added like 5 or 6 pages before the before that
it's not
happens.
Much.
But I was like, it gives you a lead in, and it like sets the scene, but also like
introduces the characters.
Yeah, and it does kind of show them. It's like it gives you like, it shows you how normal of a day it starts off as. Ultimately I think adding those pages was great. Was a good idea. I did end up also, I removed a bunch of chapters at the beginning.
Oh, really?
Because originally I had the POVs switch more quickly at the beginning, but it was like it would rewind a bit and show other things from their perspective from before. But a lot of people were like, yeah, we get to see their thoughts on it, and we didn't get that before. But they're like, but the events are the same, so we're kind of just like rehashing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a good point. I guess you don't need that. So I just made Amanda's opening chapter way longer. Than it was originally going to be.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, and I kind of did like that flow of it going like from one person to the other, like on the timeline, because that almost like added to the chaos.
Yeah.
For me as the reader, like, because then I don't know, it was created like mental emotional whiplash.
Good.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what you were going for. And yeah, it was like very enjoyable, like, and it was a unique way of reading a book. Like, I don't think I've ever like read a book or even like seen a movie. I've seen much more movies than books I've read. So like that's just a very unique way of telling a story. So like how did you come to that? Like, I'm interested in like how you kind of formulated the concept for this story.
Oh, okay. Well, for the story, or like the way I tell it.
I mean, both.
Okay,
really.
that's fair.
So wherever you want to start, that is 2 questions.
I'll try to answer one and then not forget what the other one was.
Yeah.
So originally, when I had mapped it out in my head, it was going to be a novella, and it was only going to be Lawson. Like, he was the main character in my very original concept of it, and he was the only POV.
Okay.
And it was a novella because there's less content, but for reasons. I guess like spoilery reasons especially, but also others. I figured, like, I don't know. I thought you'd get a lot more out of the other. I wanted the other characters' perspectives because I figured just with the story that it was being told, he has a unique perspective, but it's not. There's stuff he can't tell. There's stuff that happens that he can't tell, and there's stuff towards the end that I wanted to be really interesting and unique with his perspective, because I won't spoil anything, but his perspective, I mean, every character has an arc, is the idea, if I wrote it well. But his perspective definitely uniquely changes as it goes on, and the way he starts off thinking about things is very different from the way he ends up thinking about things. And I wanted that, but then I was like, well, that changes the reader's perspective on everything that's going on, and I don't necessarily want that. So I then came to the realization that other people's inputs would be a better way to tell the full thing. And the way it all ends, and the way, because each character has their own ending, but the way it all ends, I figured just having him tell the ending from his point wasn't good enough.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna have like most of the main cast have a POV. I think that'll be better. And I wanted it to be, since it's kind of a survival story, like the whole point you're hopefully I convey at least part way through, especially after the first act is over, that like just because they're the protagonists, they're not safe. Like, you can't just bank on them all sticking around for the whole book because they're the good guys. Like, I want the tension. So much suspense and tension in movies and books is like so artificial, because it's like, you know that they're fine. You're like, I'm not really worried because I know they're going to make it out of this. I don't really want you to know they're going to make it out of this. So I have to like get you in the headspace that they might not.
Yeah.
But since it's first person, I always remember that line in Kick-Ass where he's tied to the chair and he's getting beaten up, and he's like narrating about it. And then he's like, and if you think that I make it out of this just because I'm talking to you right now, stop being such a smart ass.
Like,
but I was like, he's got a point though, because I'm like, how are you telling this story if you're dead? So that's how I kind of decided to make it present tense. So that it's like they're not telling you a story that happened to them. You're just in the passenger seat of their brain as it's happening. Because they don't know what's coming next, and therefore you also don't know what's coming next. So that's kind of how I put that narrative device together. That's neat, and I'm not surprised to hear that Kick-Ass was a partial inspiration. And of course it was. It's like actually my favorite movie, which you probably wouldn't guess if you hear me talk about movies at all, but it is.
That one's really good. I
love Kick-Ass.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but that is a great movie.
Nick Cage kills it in that movie.
Nick Cage is in that one.
And he's like one of the best parts.
He's so good at that movie.
For the record, the book does not feel anything like Kick-Ass.
No.
It's far less satirical and far less lighthearted. Although I do, that is why I like Kick-Ass, that it gets really dark halfway through. All of a sudden. This book is pretty much dark the entire time. Not gonna lie. And it's funny because one of the biggest criticisms I got when I was sending it out to beta readers and getting critique on it, which I got a bunch of people, some I had known, and a bunch of people who didn't even live in America, who I had never met and everything, just conglomerating to give me a review.
Neat. Wow.
One of the bigger critiques I got was people were like, I don't know about the first person present tense. It's weird. I don't know if I like that. And like at the time that I was writing this, like the biggest books, like the top sellers were Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir and the Red Rising trilogy by Pierce Brown, both of which are first person present tense. So I was like, all right, fuck you guys.
Something's working for them. So there must be something to this.
I know. I was like, I deny your logic.
I like it. I would have been in the other camp. I think it was a very interesting way of telling a story. And I like what you said about like mentioned like the driver's seat or like passenger seat. Like I have had that like metaphor used when like talking with people about like meditation practices and like working with your own mind and like different parts of like your psyche and your like personality, and like really like talking about interacting with like the ego or like parts of yourself that maybe
like
aren't the wisest or don't have the best like perspective on how to direct the vehicle. And so like it's like the like taking that part of yourself out of the driver's seat is like the metaphor that's been used. And so like you talking about that, I could hear, and like it made me think like, oh, I was in the passenger seat with the characters. And so, and like that is very much how it felt for me. It
Good.
like felt like I was like looking over their shoulder as it was going on. And I think like getting the different perspectives in real time made that experience stronger for me. Cause like if it's just one person, one narrator telling the story, when I read a book like that, I kind of become that character,
Yeah.
and I'm like viewing the events that happen as if I am in the mind, in the body of that main character.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas like how you told it, giving those different perspectives from each main character, it took me out of any one character. And so it like almost, it made me more feel like I was in it, and like gave my imagination almost more to work with. Like, I don't know, the visual
Cool.
experience in my mind I had of reading it was like very strong. Like, and again, I'm not like trying to say you're like the greatest writer ever, but like, I don't know, even like when I have read like real, like great air quotes, the great
Right.
writers, like, or like when I've, like when I read The Hobbit, or like got in, I did that when I was in like sixth grade.
Yeah.
So like I've got 2+ decades of like development. So maybe that led to it. But like, I don't know, I think it was that style of storytelling that immersed me in it more.
Cool.
Not that you're necessarily
No, right,
an
yeah.
immensely great writer, but I think the way you used that style it made the storytelling very effective, at least for me.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully other people feel the same way.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, because one of the things I was worried about is that it's, since the entire thing is written the way people talk, it doesn't have like fancy prose, which like you don't have to be like over the top flowery and be all like up your own ass about like your cool adjectives and shit, but like I did worry that it's like, does this just seem like lazy writing because I'm just writing it the way you would talk? Because there was like one person in my initial beta read group who was like, here's how I would rewrite some of these sentences, and they made them extra like poetic sounding and super flowery and very Tolkienian. And I was like, well, right, but like that's not how you think.
Yeah.
Like if you're walking across a floor and the floor is creaky, you're just gonna think, this is a creaky ass floor. Like you're not gonna like describe it as like sounding like the moans of the dead coming up through the wood, vibrating through the soles of your feet. Like you're just not gonna think that way. So like the way I tried to offset that was to have every character have a really unique voice, and so that they all sound like totally different people. I think there's a couple characters that might have sounded a touch similar, but I think for the most part, I got, when you're in their head, like even if you didn't see the chapter heading, you would know which character it was. That was the attempt, at least.
Yeah. I found it very interesting. Like, did you steal that from somebody, like the multiple POV, or where did that? I'm sure something inspired that.
You know what's weird? So I've read. I read a lot. Ever since college, until college, I hardly read at all, and then suddenly, I don't know what took me by storm, but once college hit, ever since then I read a ton. And so I've seen a lot of books with like different POVs. There's a lot of books out there where there's not really, even first person. In fact, there's a really awesome one called Into the Water. I believe it's by Paula Hawkins, where it's all different POVs, but they're not all. Some are first person, some are third, because if you could get in the thoughts of certain characters, it would spoil the ending. Because it's like a crime thriller, and so certain people know things that if the reader knew them, it would give shit away. So that was interesting, but honestly, the main thing that made me think of it was just that. Well, let me think. Yeah, you can edit this part out because I might pause for a second to just brain. I think because you're saying, did anything inspire it?
Yeah.
Trying to think.
When you like mentioned the kick-ass thing of like the narrator.
Right.
So
I think it was just more of a peeve I've had in general for
really,
stories is that like, yeah, if it's first person and it's like a survival story, if they don't make it at the end, it feels weird because it's like, how were they telling me this? But if they do, it's like, well, of course they survived. They were telling me about this. And like, and I think suspension and tension are just so artificial that I really wanted to get that across. I think, you know, things like The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones kind of like did that a little bit where they're just like, oh, main characters can die. And I'm like, that's great. And I love that. But first of all, they started pulling their punches in later seasons. And second of all, it became a gimmick.
yeah.
And I didn't want either of those things, but I liked that core idea. I like the idea of characters not, you know, where if it looks like a character might die, you're actually worried about them. And I think the multiple, now that I think about it, I think the multiple being inspired, it didn't come from a specific work. It came from the first book I wrote.
Oh, okay.
Because I had multiple characters there, but I didn't want a main character. I didn't want you to think that one character was more important than the rest.
Okay.
And so, but what I realized is I gave them, and this might, yeah, I'm going to try my best not to spoil certain things. But everybody latched onto the first character I introduced and just mentally, and only like 6 people read this book, but all of them viewed this character as the main character. They were like, he's the central protagonist. And he wasn't supposed to be, but they all just latched onto him. So I tried to find a way to get people to not latch to one character so that there isn't a primary protagonist. It's just a group and they're all in it together.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of where actually I came up with that idea.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Because I mean, it's that you're telling the story of like the whole group, not necessarily like the story of one individual person.
Exactly, because like if there's all these characters and I don't want, you can have a favorite, but it's like I don't want you to think it's one person's story and everyone else is supporting them. So I tried to find a way to do that. That's kind of like where I gave because like I said, in the initial concept of it, there was one central character and he was the only POV. And when I decided that wasn't going to work, I didn't want him to still be the main character. So I had to find a way to do my best to like make there not actually one central protagonist.
Yeah. You're really like playing with the protagonist antagonist concept.
Yeah, and there's not really a villain.
Yeah.
There's not really a villain in the book. There's conflict and there are antagonistic forces, but there's not like a centralized bad guy that you can like point your ire at. There's kind of just horrible shit happening to these innocent people who don't deserve it. I do tell people it's like when they ask what genre it is, I'm like, it's in a sci-fi setting, but it's more like a drama. But it also has some horror elements to it, I guess. So
yeah, and those horror elements really were impactful because of what I was just saying about the visual element being so like clear in my mind. Like those the horror elements were even more visual and visceral in my imagination. It was pretty awesome.
And I like horror. I mean, I like horror movies. It's not like the book is supposed to be a quote horror book, but I have always realized that when horror movies fall flat, it's when you don't care what's happening to the characters because you don't care about the characters.
Yeah.
But when a horrific thing is happening to somebody and you can literally read what they're thinking about it happening to them, I figured that would be a little scarier.
Yeah.
So, like, just like instead of you just see a person getting attacked by something and it's like, that sucks for them. You're like in their head, basically hearing them scream internally that they don't want to die. Yeah. And I'm like, I think that hits harder. So I was trying to go for that angle.
Yeah. It's very, I think the word visceral just very clearly is the most accurate adjective I can find. And I'm not usually a fan of horror. Like generally I shy away from that, but like when it's done well, I thoroughly enjoy it. Like I recently watched the Foo Fighters horror film, like Hotel 666.
Oh god.
Have you seen this?
Dude, I haven't actually watched it.
I didn't for a while because I don't know, part of me was worried it would be campy and suck.
Right.
But I honestly thought it was really good.
Nice.
Like there was some legit like horror and like the gore was done well. They like didn't half-ass it. but it was also like really funny.
Hell
And
yeah.
so like I thoroughly enjoyed that one, but like a lot of horror stuff I don't really get into because I think
Yeah.
it maybe I think most of the time the writing isn't there. And like I mean like
It's
what you
usually
just
not.
said, I don't get invested in the characters, and
Yeah.
then like if someone gets cut in half, I'm like, oh, you're just cutting that person in half
Yeah.
to spray blood all over the other
Yeah, you're kind
characters.
of like, I mean, I wouldn't want that
I
happening to
don't
me, but
know.
like, I'm not
Like,
invested enough to really like care that
yeah.
it happened to them.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I feel like that's a huge. I mean, horror is like the most oversaturated genre.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
literally,
yeah.
if you look at any box office, well, you don't even need to look at the box office. If you just look at theatrical releases, there are more horror releases every year than any other genre.
Wow.
And if you
That
look at
makes
the
sense.
local
That
film
checks
scene,
out.
which I mean, I'm a film major, so I'm very much in
sweet.
tune with that. And I still do. I'm picking up more local film stuff, but I've been a part of a lot of that.
Oh,
And
cool.
if you look at it, majority of local filmmakers are making horror
Really?
because it's kind of the low hanging fruit. I hate to say that. And I like horror movies. I actually love horror. Every October, Mariah and I, that's all we watch. We literally refuse to
yeah.
watch anything else.
That's awesome.
But like most of them are bad. Horror is a troubled genre, and maybe it's just hard to do well, but like most horror, which there's more horror than any other genre, is ass. And like
Yeah.
so it's kind it's kind of a problem.
Like,
but-
yeah, I agree. I'm not gonna even tell the story to prove that. Like, yes,
Yeah,
we all know that.
Like, I mean,
we don't need to debate that.
Yeah, like I'm ecstatic that movies like Nosferatu are getting a bunch of recognition.
I didn't see it. What did you?
It's awesome.
I'm sure you did. It
It's
was good. I
fucking
heard it was
awesome.
really good.
Yeah, I'm a huge Robert Eggers fan already.
My
and
sister, who's a big movie buff, said that it was good. And
it's
I trust her.
super
opinion
cool.
on
And
that stuff.
the
That's
Oscars
good to
this
hear.
year, more horror movies got nominated, or I guess there were more nominations for horror movies than I think there's ever been.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
interesting.
Nosferatu got a ton. The Substance got a lot.
Okay.
And then Alien Romulus got a special effects nomination. So
Oh, was that the remake of the old?
No,
or maybe it's like
it's
but
like
that's
a-
of the Alien.
yeah, it like
old
takes
school
place
Alien
between
movies,
Alien
right?
and Aliens, I think.
Okay.
But a lot of the effects in that movie are practical, so I guess that's
Oh,
kind of cool.
really? Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
all the puppets that they use for like the face huggers and stuff, and like, so
Oh,
I'm like, all right,
okay.
fine, you can give that a special effects nomination. That's cool, but yeah, horror got way more love, and the Academy normally just ignores that genre, and
cool.
frankly, it's probably because most of that genre is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm definitely not pitching this as a horror novel.
But yeah, but when it is done well, it's a very effective method of storytelling.
Yeah.
I mean, like the the episode I released today, which will not be the last episode that came out when this one comes out.
Right.
But it was with my friend Maggie Clifton, and she's a theater friend of mine. And we were talking about like a lot about Shakespeare. And I mean, like Shakespeare, it's love stories and tragedy stories. It's
Yep.
either like people ride off into the sunset or everybody's
everybody
dead.
dies.
And
Yeah.
so, and some of those stories where everybody dies are like the better ones.
Oh, yeah. I mean-
probably like I don't know.
Well, though, I mean, those are the ones everyone talks about.
yeah,
Like,
at the very least, those are the ones people.
I mean,
talk about.
everybody talks about like Romeo and Juliet and Macbeth, and Othello, but like.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess a lot of people talk about Much Ado About Nothing and The Taming of the Shrew, but like no one's talking about Merchant of Venice,
Yeah,
unless they're
no.
Shakespeare fans,
Or like what's the one?
which I am for the record.
What's
so
what's
it's-
the one with the two twins? Oh,
That is Taming of the Shrew.
is that no, the Taming of the Shrew is the one with the lady.
With the lady.
The worst.
This is why I miss talking to you. It's this shit that I really miss.
Yeah, that one.
I like Winter's Tale. Nobody gives a shit about Winter's Tale. Even
I haven't even heard of that one.
yeah, even Shakespeare fans though are
I was
split.
I was in a Shakespeare.
Even Shakespeare
company
people don't
for
seem to
minute,
give a
and I
shit
haven't
about
even heard of that
Winter's Tale. It's like, not that it's bad. It's just like
one. Yeah.
it's weird and
Yeah, I want to check that one out now, actually. But I mean, yeah, the ones with that's gonna bug me about the one where it's the two twins because it's the mistaken identity thing.
Oh no! Wait,
Not
you 100% need to edit this out because I'm supposed to know Shakespeare. And my
No,
reputation,
let's
my
figure it out.
reputation's at stake here.
We're both gonna Google it real quick.
Because I fucking know what it is. Because I literally have. I'm pretty sure I've been in it.
I
actually.
was in it. Shakespeare twins play.
I'm not gonna force you at gunpoint to edit
Comedy
this
of
part out.
Errors. It's Comedy of Errors.
No.
I'm not. No, I'm leaving it in.
No, Comedy
the
of
one
Errors.
I was talking about
It's
was
not called
Comedy of
Comedy of
Errors,
Errors, though.
at the very least. The
comedy-
one I was talking about was Comedy of Errors. Maybe you were
on.
thinking of something else, but
Hold
the one I was
on.
talking about was Comedy of Errors, because that's like where
stupid,
one
dude.
twin gets flung across the world when he's young, and the other twin becomes mayor of the town, and then like the other twin ends up coming to the town, and it causes a whole bunch of crazy hijinks.
That is Comedy of Errors.
Yeah,
Never mind. Okay,
yeah,
well, I was
yeah.
thinking Twelfth Night.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking Twelfth Night that
when I
entire
was
time.
Googling it, 12th Night did also come up. So
I was
maybe-
thinking Twelfth
okay.
Night.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yes, Comedy of Errors. Yeah.
I did a
That's a good
short
point.
condensed.
I was not in
version.
Comedy of Errors.
Okay. Did you do 12th Night then?
I feel like I'm trying to think of when I would have, but I could have sworn I was in Twelfth Night at some point. I've done a lot of Shakespeare actually.
Really?
Yeah, I
didn't know that.
So
I mean,
I
it's
know
been
we
a
haven't
while since we've
reconnected
seen
in like
each
a
other.
while. Maybe we should just do this more.
Yeah, definitely.
But because I miss you. But there was a Shakespeare company that I worked with, starting the summer after my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And so,
Oh, cool.
I was in Shakespeare plays at least once a year, sometimes
sweet.
twice, from the summer before college all the way through college. And actually,
Sweet.
the summer after I graduated college, the company was shutting down, but they had me direct their final play.
Was it Shakespeare Machine?
No.
Here in town?
No, but
Okay.
Shakespeare Machine I think is still around.
No, they're not.
they're not?
I closed that company down.
Fuck.
But I'm still friends with a lot of the people. So I mean,
okay.
there's still Shakespeare people in
No,
town, but they're not doing shows
It changed
anymore
names
now.
like 3 times because ownership kept switching.
Okay.
But
Was
the
that
people
here in
involved were
town,
the same.
or was
Yeah.
this- wow.
That was local.
Huh.
And I directed a production of The Tempest after I graduated
Cool.
college.
Cool.
And that was like my directorial debut.
Oh, nice.
But it was also, they were like, hey, we want you to direct our final play. And I was like,
Oh, no way.
okay,
Nice.
I will do that.
Huh.
And The Tempest is sick. It's like my favorite Shakespeare play. So
Oh, neat. I don't know that one.
it's cool. It's got an old wizard who lives on an island.
That sounds like
Who doesn't
your
love
kinda
that?
shit. A wizard that lives on an island.
Yeah.
That's
And he's
right
just
up
like
your alley.
grumpy. He's just this cantankerous wizard who's just mad.
Oh, cool.
Because he literally he was like a nerd in Italy. And then he just wanted to read his books, and that's all he wanted. But I literally, even as much as I love The Tempest, I kind of completely forget why they exile him. But they kick him out. They send him to an island. But because of all of his studies, he literally learned magic while he was studying. And so he shows up to this island. There's all this. This is all backstory, by the way. This doesn't have the play starts way after all this.
I guess we're not even talking about the
No,
play
we're
yet.
talking about the history within the play.
is
So
the shit
he
I'm into.
shows up to this island, and there's a witch who owns the island, and she's tormented the people who nobody really lives there, but there's spirits and stuff that live there, and she's got them enslaved and stuff.
Whoa.
And so he's the only person she's ever run into who can combat her because he knows magic, and so he defeats her. And then he gets cooler because now he's got witch shit that he learns. I think he has her staff. I think his staff used to be hers. And then he
okay.
frees
Yeah.
he frees one of the spirits she enslaved and becomes their friend. And then together they put together a plot that will ultimately get him back home.
Oh.
But literally,
Interesting.
the play starts with a totally different group of people getting shipwrecked on the island from the Tempest that he created with his magic and with his spirit friends.
Oh.
That's where it starts.
Oh.
So
the plot is in motion. Is that where the play starts? The
Yeah.
plot to get him off?
Oh yeah.
Oh. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And this is the stuff I enjoy about modern Shakespeare is hashing it out in modern language.
Yeah.
And when you can and then going over the text with people who understand it. And when you figure out oh, this is a play about a wizard who's stuck on an island who's working with a ghost to get off the island.
Yeah, it's sick.
That sounds fucking badass.
Dude, and
I want to see that.
I have thought so many
Why
times.
do people not want to see Shakespeare? It's because they don't realize what it's about.
Yeah, because they just get lost in the language and get confused.
Yeah. Which is like understandable.
Yeah,
like I saw plenty of Shakespeare at First Pres when I was a kid, and I had no idea. I was falling asleep.
And the way I memorize lines, because I'll be honest, that's like one of my strong suits as an actor. is line memorization.
That's my biggest weakness.
That's like the thing I'm the best at. I literally, when I directed The Tempest, we were one actor short, and I couldn't get them. I couldn't find anyone, and so 2 weeks until performance, I was like, I guess I have to play them. And everyone was like, "Are you sure you can do that?" And I was like, "Listen, guys, I pretty much have this entire script memorized at this point. I'm at every rehearsal. You guys only need to worry about your lines." So I just hopped in 2 weeks until performance, and I think I took one evening to look over that specific character's lines just to make sure that I didn't need to reference anything, and I don't think I ever stumbled on them, and so which was funny because it gave me way more ammo against my actors, because if they were like, "Sorry, I don't have my lines," I'm like, I know your lines, and I also know my lines.
Right?
I'm like, you have no excuse.
Oh, actors are the worst. I will say that. As an actor, I will say actors are the worst.
And as
so are directors, so are stage managers, so are costume designers.
Artists are just the worst.
Everyone in the theater is the worst.
Yes. Yeah, and
that's why I love people in the theater.
Yeah, and no, when I was I've always thought if I ever got to a level of pretentious where I wanted to write anything Shakespearean, like actually master the iambic pentameter and all that shit, I always thought writing a prequel to The Tempest called Sycorax would be really fucking cool, because that's the witch's name. Her name's Sycorax. And I'm like, I would love to. Yeah, it's the coolest name ever. What? I don't know how I came up with it. Names are impossible for me. Like when I'm writing anything, that's the hardest thing.
Dude, I think about that. I'm like, how do people, even like normal names for like just characters in sitcoms, like how did they come up with Ron Swanson?
Yeah, but it's
like,
perfect.
It's perfect. It's the perfect name, and it's so plain. Like I feel like I could like meet a customer at the health food shop. And they'd be like, "Oh, my name's Ron Swanson. And I do HVAC."
Yeah, it's perfect. Like you can't even just flip open like a book of random names and pick one, because it still has to fit the character. Like
there's got to be some like linguistic.
There's like a science to it that. Somehow. And like that's the characters I like. Luckily in this book, all the characters have like regular people names. Which, granted, maybe in the future names will get fucking weird. I don't know. I can't project that, but even coming up with their names got kind of hard.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, and granted, a lot of them, it's funny because some of them I just ended up being like, that just sounds right. But some of them I tried to get super artsy with, and it doesn't sound that way because they have normal names. But like Lawson Talbot, I put a lot of thought into that name.
Did you really?
And because it's funny. It all has to do with how his story ends. But I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. But
if
you
know your classic Universal catalog of movies movies based off of books where the movies came out in the 40s, you might be able to put it together. But
that's a pretty small group of people.
I know.
Imagine.
And I feel like
that's
what's funny. I feel like if I was giving a talk to people who had finished the book and which isn't a call out against you, I'm just trying to promote it on here, so I want people to read it. But then I could probably say, "Oh, this is how I came up with Lawson Talbot," and people would be like, "Whoa, he put a lot of thought into that."
We'll do another one of these, and it'll be after I finish the book.
It's like, okay, so everybody who listened to the first podcast,
disclaimer,
you've read the book.
One is all about full of the spoilers.
Or Joanna. There's reasons I came up with.
Interesting.
Her name, but some of the last names were like lazy as fuck. Not gonna lie. Like Amy. Amy's fucking last name. I realized that the word it's the cringiest thing.
I don't even remember.
Aline.
Amy Aline.
That's her name. Yeah, but
that sounds like a normal name.
Yeah, I thought so, but literally I only did it. It's like so corny and cringy, which is, you got to be transparent as an artist so people know that you're legit. But Well, especially because I just made myself sound as pretentious as possible with Lawson's name, so I gotta redeem myself by sounding like an imbecile. Like the word for alone is almost the same in like every language.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I looked up a list of like the 14 most spoken languages, and the word for alone is always like a version of either alen or alone or alon or aline, and I was just like, okay. I'll just make it sound like that.
But I mean, it's
it's like the laziest thing.
Great. But I mean, even in like your laziness, there's a neat little tidbit like tucked in there. Like I didn't know that.
And it's indicative
now
of her.
I want to look up what that is in Spanish.
Yeah.
Like,
watch that be one of the languages that sounds nothing like it.
That'd be great.
That would be funny. People would be like, this guy's full of shit. And like,
awesome.
and I wanted it to speak to their characters because, you know, I mean, that is, and that's why I think it's cringy, but I'm okay with it. Is because it's like, she is kind of, she's kind of in her own world, because she has friends, but she's always kept some level of distance.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like, there's a lot that I left open to interpretation on purpose, but there's a lot about Amy's upbringing and the relationship she's had with Skunk, because they've been best friends like since they were kids. But she never comes out and says anything specific about it, but she makes hints about their history that implies that like certain things have transpired that even though he's still her best friend, she doesn't fully trust him and isn't as open with him as you might be with your best friend normally. But
interesting.
So.
Yeah, and
it's like
yeah.
I'm openly not clever about it.
But that's okay. I mean, like, in the episode that came out, I'm thinking a lot about this stuff I talked about with Maggie, because I was like going back over it, and we were talking about like pedestalizing art and how that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
and that like thinking
I agree.
and thinking that, you know, everything has to have some deep philosophical meaning,
right?
Like, is not really what makes good art.
Yes,
like,
and actually that speaks to me like you wouldn't believe. I literally in college, because I mean, heck, I was a film student, so I was in the School of Creative Arts, and so I was surrounded by a bunch of artists, and we went camping at a friend's house, because at the time he had a huge property, or his family had a huge property. And I made one of them go to bed early because I said Barnett Newman was a hack. And,
he had to leave.
She literally was so mad she went to bed.
Oh my God.
She went into the tent. She stormed off into the tent because I said Barnett Newman was a hack.
I don't even know who that is.
Okay, so you've probably seen
tell
it.
me.
There is a one of her most famous painting series is the Untitled Etching series, where the biggest one, I think it's Untitled Etching number 2, and it's, you know, millions of dollars, and it's vertical, it's long, it's taller than it is wide, and it's just a white canvas with a black elongated rectangle in the center, and that's the entire piece.
Like Rothko or something like that.
And if you
like
actually, it's in
abstract.
I think
Like
it's in
minimalist.
Iron Man 2. He has that Obama-ized picture of himself that he puts up in like his garage or something.
Yeah.
And he takes down the Barnett Newman, and Pepper is like, no, you are not replacing the Barnett Newman. And
Okay.
This girl that I went to college with was like, no, she's just so spiritual, and so said all this like highfalutin bullshit about her. And I'm like, it's a rectangle.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to sound like someone who doesn't appreciate art.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I understand, like, going through college and going through art, because there was a bunch of art classes that had nothing to do with film that I had to take, because I needed to know composition and shit. And so I went from hating Jackson Pollock to loving Jackson Pollock. Because I'm like, okay, yes, all of his paintings are just spatterings, but they're all different spatterings. I'm like, this motherfucking guy dedicated his entire life to finding every way that that can affect paint.
Yeah.
That's actually brilliant.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually brilliant, and I learned to appreciate that. But I am sorry. The thing is, like, a child couldn't make that because all of their paint spatters would be different on one canvas. He made them different colors, but used them in the exact same way. That's impressive. That shows control over the brush. That shows acumen, and it shows that he literally, that there was a calculated design. Whereas if you just put a shape on something, a child can do that. And I'm not saying that you didn't put heart into it. But can we at least factor talent in to a degree? I mean, like, if you're not good at art, you shouldn't be praised for doing art. Maybe that's rude. You know what? Maybe this will make fewer people want to read my fucking book. Saying
I'm
this.
understanding why that girl went to bed.
But she stormed right off.
That's awesome.
She stormed right the fuck off because we had lectures. So I went to St. Francis.
Okay, cool.
I loved it there actually, but one of my scholarships required that I attended a certain number of lectures that were on weekends because they would call artists in from all over the country.
Oh, cool.
To give lectures.
No way.
Yeah, it was actually
sounds awesome.
It was cool because at first I was like, I have to go to 3 out of 5 of these every semester, so I guess I'll do this one. But almost all of them were awesome.
I bet.
They were really cool. But there were 2 that made me really angry. One of them was because this dude spent years making a boat in his basement, and he hand built the entire boat.
In his basement?
He actually had to build the boat so it could become a part so that he could transport it out of his basement.
I was like, how did he get it out of his basement?
Yeah, he literally had to build it in just the right way. Yeah. No, he moved it. And each plank had a different word put on it in a different way. So some of them were painted, some of them were burned, some of them were embossed, some of them were carved. And all of the words had connections to each other. And they all, if you looked at the total piece, it made sense that they were on a boat. But like in a philosophical way. So okay, maybe a little snooty, but like put a lot of effort into it. And I'm like, and it looks good. Like it looks like he bought a boat and put words on it, but it's like he did way more than that. And he made this whole piece. It's very impressive. And he went to an exhibition and he put a price tag on it because he was like, I want to make money for my work. And he said people looked at it and they were like, oh, that's cool. And there was a guy across from him who had light up signs that said hello. And he was selling them each for like $200. And he's like, that dude sold out. And not a single person put a bid in on my boat. Oh my God. And I'm like, and I'm like, sure, I get that not everybody has whatever he was asking for. But they're not at a market. They're not at a boutique. They're at like an art exhibition. And this dude who just like put an LED in a thing and stuck a AA in the back. Like, he's making bank while the guy who like actually put all this effort in is starving.
Wow. That's quintessential art right there.
That pissed me off. Yeah. So like I am kind of one of those people where it's like I understand abstract art. Like I don't think it's as pointless or brainless as people who don't care for it say it is. But it can be. And like modern art like is not inherently a swear word, but sometimes goddamn, like I'm like, if you didn't put effort into it, even if you put mental effort, if you put no physical effort into making the piece, I don't think you deserve accolades. Like
so I'll play devil's advocate for Newman, Barnett Newman. So I think and maybe this is like something that was said about Rothko, and he did the same thing, just like painted rectangles and put that up, and it's hanging in the Art Institute in Chicago. But like I wonder if like, you know, what did she, and I'm not gonna, okay, I'm playing devil's advocate, I'm gonna commit to the part. But like what was her process of going to, like, what did she experience to the point where she was able to just draw a rectangle on canvas and present that as her piece?
Right.
You know, what is like the journey, the artist's journey? You know, what cannot be, what is not being told by the rectangle on the canvas?
And to give her some grace, and to give her a little bit of grace, sometimes for abstract art, it's what it evokes from you when you look at it. But and so that validates it.
Yeah.
But does it make it worth millions of dollars? That's where I'm kind of like for instance, so you remember Eddie? From
Machado.
So obviously I still hang with Eddie. I still talk to him.
Oh, great.
But I remember one of his college projects was like the most impressive thing I had ever seen, and I mean, because he's just such an incredible artist, and I know for a fact it got completely overlooked probably by some bullshit. That's what, like, so for instance, they had to, I can't even remember what the specific project was, but the final in one of his art classes, he made, it's Agent 40, is it 43 from Hitman? The main character from Hitman. Okay. I sound lame.
The video game?
Yeah.
I know that one. Okay.
43.
I don't know.
But anyways, Eddie made an image of him with his like double crossed pistols, the classic, and he made it using only barcodes.
Whoa.
Because all the Hitman have that barcode on the back of their head. And so he literally made an exact image of that character out of barcodes.
Wow.
And I'm like, that shit is impressive as hell, but also took a lot of creativity and you put a lot of effort into it.
Yeah.
So like that is something he should be able to sell for a lot of money. Whereas if you make a piece that really gets people to feel a certain way, that's awesome. And I'm glad you did that and you should keep doing it. But like, there's another one. It's either in the Louvre or it's in whichever one's in Germany, where it's a gray canvas with a black dot in the middle, and millions of dollars. And I'm just like, I'm not saying that art piece has no place in the zeitgeist of physical art, but like, why are we ignoring the shit where people put so much skill into crafting it? Like the craft itself, I think, is kind of people don't. I feel like it doesn't get as appreciated.
Well, I've heard one of my favorite musicians, Mr. Bill, talking about this on his podcast, and it's like the conversation around what people value in their art, and that like his point that he makes a lot is that effort. Like expenditure of effort does not equal value in the marketplace where art is like sold, traded, and whatnot.
But I wish it did.
Right?
Like,
we want it to.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that it's 100. It's all that should matter. But when like I just feel like if somebody has acumen in a skill, they should be revered for it.
Yeah.
And if somebody is able to either evoke emotion from somebody with very little effort, that's cool. Or basically just dupe them and convince them that they're smarter than everybody else and that their nose being way up in the sky, it makes them understand it more. Again, there's a place for that, but I just feel like, if you not only are really talented, like just naturally, but if you've cultivated that gift and you've really worked on it, you should get rewarded for that. I feel like that doesn't happen all the time. That's why I love the Oscars. We're in Oscar season now. I don't know when this episode will come out, but right now as we're speaking, we're in Oscar season. And every year, Mariah and I watch every movie that's gotten nominated.
Oh, nice.
We have a list. And some of them we had already seen. But every year, there's always some that we're like, either we hadn't heard of or we're like, didn't get around to that.
My sister does the same thing.
Hell yes! Yeah. It's great. It's really fun.
She tries to see them in theaters.
It's a fun hobby. But it's funny because some of these movies, you're like, dear God, that was amazing. You're like, of course it got these nominations. That thing was a fucking masterpiece. And then other times you're like, I mean, you're like, yeah, I'm sure the person who made this thought they were a genius, but like, you can tell because the whole movie is them basically looking into the lens going, look how clever I was for doing that.
God.
Like, goddamn. Dude, when Nomadland was up for Best Picture, got Best Picture, actually, I shat myself right there.
Oh, no.
Right then and there. Poo on couch.
I didn't see that one.
Don't. They were like, it's got real nomads in it. I'm like, I don't care. They grab some people who live in their vans to play extras? That doesn't mean shit to me.
Right.
What? Meanwhile, this year, a movie called Sing Sing came out, which is about Sing Sing, the prison. And literally...
Was that a cartoon?
No, it's about a prison. Like the real upstate New York maximum security prison.
I'm thinking about Sing 2.
You know what's
The
funny?
children's movie.
Mariah and I keep saying we're like, those are shockingly easy to get mixed up, and they're very fucking different movies.
I was like, that's why I was like, wait, I know about the prison.
We're like, not
I have
Sing
a
2,
feeling
Sing Squared. But
okay, so the movie about Sing Sing.
but they did something similar where it's a true story. It's a biopic about this guy who was wrongfully accused of a murder, and he spent 20 plus years in Sing Sing. But he started a theater department there.
Oh, cool.
And so a bunch of guys got brought into that, and it's mostly about that. It's mostly about the theater department that he built. And as far as I know, it's still there today.
No way.
But the crazy thing is, almost every member of the theater department in the movie was played by the actual people who were there.
Wow.
Like, all of them are out of prison now. But so like, the only thing they changed in the script from the real story was they aged everybody up, because in reality they were in it when they were in their 20s, and now they're all like middle-aged. But literally, because they were actors, you didn't notice that it's not like, oh, they just had random inmates play these characters. Like, they were all playing themselves.
Yeah.
So like, but they were also good actors. And it just like made the whole movie hit so much harder.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, there's a good way to do it where that's that. And then there's like a pandery way to do it where you're like, say we included this population people don't know about. And I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I guess people don't think about how many people like choose to, because like the whole thing about nomads is that they're choosing to live in their vans or their RVs. You know, it's not because they have no choice. That's the lifestyle they want. But I don't think having actual people who live like that play people who live like that does anything for the audience. It's just like you being like, look what I did. And like,
well, that's the reason that Ratatouille is the best movie about food. It's because if they try to put chefs in a food movie, they suck at acting.
That's true.
And if they have actors try to cook, they suck at cooking and the food looks like shit. And
if
so
you animate it though,
you animate it and it's a great film.
Terrible marketing choice though. I mean, if you think about it, that restaurant's only going to be open for like 3 years and then Remy's dead.
Yeah, I know, right? But maybe that amps up. You know, you only got 3 years before the chef kicks the bucket. Get in now, high value on those reservations. Yeah, I love Ratatouille.
Man, Linguini is kind of a piece of shit if you really think hard about it.
Think
though.
So? You think
if you think really hard about it?
I haven't thought that hard about it. I mean,
everybody loves Ratatouille because it's great.
I mean, I'm down for hashing out Ratatouille, but maybe we'll leave that for next time.
Yeah, but
I actually didn't know that you went to film school. That's awesome.
Yeah, like it's not like a film school, but
that was like your
St.
major,
Francis
at least.
had a really good film department.
Cool.
I won't say good or ill about this current state of their film department, but but yeah, they actually had a really good one. I majored in film and minored in theater, and
cool.
Sweet. It was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I'm doing more photography. I'm doing a lot more photography stuff nowadays than I ever used to. But I'm trying to, I'm still active in the local film community. I still want to make more local films, but I took a step back first because I was working on a feature that I got halfway through and then COVID hit. And by the time that died down, the actors' schedules weren't working out anymore. And so I had to just call it, which was it's
a bummer.
I think about it at least once a week. It haunts me. So I took a break there and then did a couple little projects, but then I just had the baby. Well, 6 months ago, but still. So I'm kind of slowly. I'm getting ready to ramp back up on the film stuff.
Yeah. Until that kid's a year old, you can say you just had a baby.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
As a person without children, I will give you that.
I think that's fair. But the book stuff has been a lot of fun in the meantime.
Cool. Yeah.
Because I have plenty of ideas that I have the budget to make in film form. Because I have plenty of gear. I have a lot of my own stuff, and I know people, so I know plenty of cast and crew options.
Nice.
I have for a while, but some of the books that because I wrote that first one however long ago, and then I wrote this one that I published. I finished another one. Oh, cool. But my goal is if I can get this one to springboard me, then the next one can be traditionally published, which would be great.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you try to get a book published through an actual publishing house or an agent, they have a fill out sheet. And 2 of the sections are, have you ever published a book before?
Mm-hmm.
And how many books have you sold?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you say no and 0, they literally just toss it out. They're not even
Yeah,
looking
no
at
way.
it. So I wanted this book to springboard me a little, but
Nice.
not that I'm not
Yeah.
proud of this book in and of itself. I am very happy with how this book turned out.
That's good.
But yeah, it's like the ideas I'm writing in these books, I don't have the budget to make that. You kidding me? Like I could even like I would have to I'd have to like make it big and then turn 50 and then have studio backing. Like that's insane. So and that's kind of another reason I wrote it. We were talking about this earlier. That's kind of another reason the way I wrote it the way I did, because I'm like, if it's going to be a book, I kind of want to justify the fact that it's a book and not a movie. Mm-hmm. Other than the fact that I just don't have the resources to make it a movie. And I feel like getting into their heads the way it does, you can't do in a movie. You could have them narrate literally 100% of the screen time, but that's I can't think of anyone who'd watch that.
Yeah. It'd be a pretty avant-garde film.
I know, like you could pull it off in like film noir and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
it's doable. Right?
Yeah, like Double Indemnity, or heck, let's go more modern, Sin City. Like the way they narrate that movie is awesome, but it's not 100% of the time. And they give some really good, some awesome mental imagery that you can't get just from watching it. Like when have you watched Sin City? You've seen Sin City?
No, I have
not.
not.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
Damn, you got to watch that movie.
Okay.
It's great.
It's on my list.
But there's
I'll tell Julia that, and she'll make me watch it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. There's a scene where Bruce Willis's character, he has this kind of nemesis throughout his vignette, because it's basically 3 small movies.
Okay.
Each one follows a different character. Yeah. And he finally gets the guy, and when he does, he beats him to death, like just with his bare hands.
Oh shit.
Well, he rips his cock off and then he beats him. but
I gotta watch this.
It's crazy. You see that shit happen too.
Damn.
But with his bare hand, he
No way.
grabs in there and just tears it off. But anyways, so he's pummeling him to death, and you see that his face is basically liquid now. But what he gives you when he narrates it is a lot more, where he says eventually, I forget exactly how he words it, but he's like, eventually I find my knuckles are just pounding wet floorboards.
Ooh.
Like he literally like punched through his face, like there's like nothing left. And I'm like, ooh, even though you see it, hearing him say that is a lot different. And I don't know if I consciously thought about Sin City at all when I was writing this book, but the idea of that narrative giving you that mental concept, because it's not even an image because you're watching it happen, but it's just the idea, and because you can't see what his knuckles are feeling, but he can tell you. But that kind of concept, you can't do that for an entire runtime of a movie, but for a book that can be 100% of the narration. And so when the characters in the book are talking about how they're feeling and physical sensations that come about, you can feel it more. And in a movie, you have to go off of what you can see and hear. In a book, you can kind of feel a little bit. So I wanted to really lean into that hard.
Oh, that's really interesting. I've done like in meditation groups, done like interpersonal like listening exercises and like communicating and like noting, it's been called, like just being present with the experience that's happening in the moment and describing like what the sensations in your body are like.
Dude, we did that in some of my acting classes in college.
Yeah, it's very much like when I've done that with meditation groups, I'm like, guys, we did this stuff in theater.
Yeah.
To create a group ensemble mind. And here we're trying to connect to like Atman, or like, Buddhist Sanskrit terms for, Christ consciousness or whatever. Yeah. Like, I think what I was doing in theater was really deep shit.
Because if you're acting, you got to like understand being human, but beyond just yourself.
To become like a character. And so like doing it in interpersonal relating settings, it's like, oh, how can I empathize with your experience?
And vice versa.
And it's good.
I think if you're in groups like that, you can be a better actor too. Like,
Absolutely.
I think either one, whichever one
So
you experience
interesting.
first, you can flip it. Like if you do
Yeah.
enough acting exercises, you can learn how to relate to real people. And if you do enough real people exercises, you can learn how to act. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it is actually wild.
Yeah. And so like that like writing style of like, okay, just it's almost like stream of consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then I think that is part of what helped me immerse myself in the story. Because it's not poetry, it's not
Right.
prose, it's an unfolding of events as they occur.
Yes. Yeah.
And not every book is told
No.
that way.
And
but that's how we experience life.
Yeah.
And so like I think that I want to read more books with that perspective.
Yeah, I originally actually
I want to finish your book, really.
Yeah, finish my first.
I'll finish this first. 'Cause I have one in my hands that is written in that perspective.
I did consider making it like traditional stream of consciousness where it's like your mind goes on tangents. But first of all, I didn't know if that'd come off as like pretentious. And second of all, I'm like, I feel like it's hard to keep the narrative on track when you're doing that, especially if the story I'm telling is about the events that are occurring.
Yeah.
So especially because it's about, like, there's plot. They always say there's plot and then what the story's about. Like they're like, well, there's the events, but then there's what you're trying to say. There's all that shit.
Yeah.
Which, like, to an extent, you have to buy into one way or another, because once people read it, they're going to extrapolate something. So you may as well intentionally put something in there.
Yeah.
So that they don't extrapolate not what you meant.
Yeah.
Um,
And even then, people are going to
It'll happen
extrapolate
anyway,
not what
but-
you meant.
I know, yeah. Yeah, you could just be like, oh, it's a story about elves fighting a dragon, and then people, like, take it as, like, Nazi propaganda, and you're like, oh, fuck! Like,
Not what I was going for.
but, yeah, since it's, like, it's about, people changing from, like, crisis and how you evolve internally, and how people interacting with each other change each other. And how when you have to work together, pieces of yourself kind of join up with pieces of other people, and you evolve. And so, like, I wanted to, and that's another reason I thought multiple perspectives would be better, because if I just showed one person doing that, okay, you see a person changing because it's a character, they have an arc, they're not static. But if you see a bunch of people all evolving on different trajectories, even though they're in it together and they're part of each other's evolutions, then I thought that'd be like a better way to kind of push that.
Yeah, I think so. And like, art reflects the world, right? And so, like, a lot of people, and I'll just speak from my perspective, like, just the experiences unfolding in the world as I see them make me feel very disjointed at times, almost like I'm watching the world unfold through the lens of 5 different people's minds, like, just with how much
it's like you have,
shit is going on.
You have like a housefly's compound eyes all of a sudden, and you can't.
Yeah, and so like, it's when talking with Maggie about like theater and like the experience that good theater provides of, I think what did she call it? Like, it's like witnessing, having like a safe, I don't want to say safe space, but like a judgment-free response. That's what she said. Like, so I can read this book and immerse myself in the experience of being in the minds of 5 different people watching events unfold.
Yeah.
And as I'm reading the book, it's like it's the willing suspension of disbelief. Like, it's not actually real.
Right.
And so I can kind of let go of some of the, I don't know, fear of real life and the impending doom of the world doesn't exist. And so if I can have that experience in art, and, when I get to page 120, I decide I'm going to go to bed, and I close the book and I brush my teeth and turn off the lights and sleep for 6 or 7 or 8 hours.
Right.
I get the full full night. And then like having that experience with the art, I can then, when I'm in real life and have that experience feeling like I'm 5 different people watching the news, it's like, oh, that's how I felt when I was reading that book. And then I closed the book and I went to bed. Maybe like that's the same thing when I'm watching the news. I can just turn off the TV and go to bed.
Yeah.
And then like I'm,
you're able to,
I don't have to be like, stuck in that.
Separate that mindset, because it's like, because it's sort of like, I don't know, people get so, it's funny. So my mother, my dear mother, who you remember my mother.
I love your mom.
She's basically a living cartoon
I remember
character.
she used to get boxes of cosmic brownies just for me.
Dude,
like that woman.
In high school, our house had so many fucking cosmic brownies in it. And it is largely because of you. Yeah, she's the same. She's just gotten kookier.
As we both have too.
But it's funny because my stories and this is the only book I've ever published, so like this doesn't, to anyone who doesn't know me personally, this doesn't really mean anything. But my stories tend to veer. They go to the darker places a little bit. I don't try to keep you down in the dumps, but it's not. I don't want to spoon feed you and hold your hand, like, because that's not the kind of stories I prefer. So it's not the kind of stories I'd want to make. But I remember my mom once. I mean, she read the book, and she was happy reading it. But she was like, I wonder why do you always like it when they're so so morbid and there's always so scary. There's always scary stuff going on. And I was like, well, and I can't remember if I answered her yet, but she was like, well, it's just because like the real world is already so scary, so I don't really want that in my fiction. And I'm like, that is the exact opposite way of how you should be fucking looking at this,
right?
I'm like, if anything, like this should help you with coping skills, like.
That's what me and Maggie were saying.
Yeah, because I'm just like, if this if you try to take any real life things out of your fiction, it's like, if anything, you're viewing it from a certain perspective, and it gives you, you're confronting the darkness instead of hiding from it.
Yeah,
And I'm like, isn't that better? So I would way rather my fiction has some really scary and heavy shit in it, because then I'm facing it, but in a comfortable, safe environment where I'm choosing to consume it, and I can take a pause from it whenever I want. But I'm facing it head on. And unfortunately, it sucks, because I was gonna give a really good quote, but it's from a really bad man. So I don't know. You know what? I just won't credit him. But if you know who said the quote, I don't endorse him. He's a terrible person. If all of his current accusations are true, he should go straight to hell. Oh no! But I will say the quote anyway, because it doesn't make the words untrue.
Separate the art from the artist.
Yes, you fucking have to, especially here, especially now, especially
these days, especially.
But the best way to avoid controversy is don't be a piece of shit. So if I ever make it anywhere as a storyteller, whether that's through books or movies or what have you, I'll just like not rape people, and then my reputation should be okay. But I found it really easy to not rape people. Anyways,
Get the trouble with that one, but
he did say
still working on it apparently.
He did say fantasy, or I think he used the word fairy tales, but I'm going to replace it with fiction because it's broader and just fits just as well. He said fiction is important not because it tells us dragons are real, but because it tells us that they can be defeated. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, cause seriously, like, people are like, no, I don't want scary things. They just like, it's escapism for them. And I don't really buy into escapism, because I'm like, well, that means you feel good when you're reading the book. And then the second you close it, you're scared again. Like you're right back. Like you just like hide for a bit. And then once the book is closed, or once the credits roll, you're back in Scaryland, and you're uncomfortable all over again. You're like, you haven't learned anything. You haven't grown. But if you're consuming fiction that is scary, or that has bad things that happen in it, then like you're choosing to go there, but it can't hurt you. Like anything horrible that happens, even if it makes you feel a certain way, it's healthy and fine. Like I love being scared when I'm reading books or watching movies. I love being tormented and sad. If a movie or book or any work of fiction, even a video game, even like if it rips my heart out and chews on it and shoves it back in my chest violently, I'm like, that was perfect. Great. It's exactly what I wanted. And it's because at the end of the day, I get to feel the full spectrum of human emotion without it being able to harm me.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to experience
Yeah.
everything, which I think is good. I think it's good to be sad sometimes. I think it's good to be scared sometimes. But like when you're sad or scared because things aren't going well for you, that's not good.
Yeah.
You're not gonna feel cathartic about that.
Yeah, that
But
just sucks.
yeah, but I feel like in this way you can actually feel those things and go through it and help face it. And I really do think fiction can give you the tools to adapt better to real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's actually like really good for you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point. I have over the last like 4 or 5 years really like not like consciously not read fiction.
Yeah.
Like just gotten into nonfiction. Like I'm studying Buddhism a lot, so I'm
Yeah.
like trying to like read that kind of stuff, or just like things that can improve my knowledge on a topic I want to
Sure.
have a better grasp on. But like, yeah, that point I think is very important, that fiction does create, again, I don't love the term safe space. I think
Right, yeah, because it kind of means
has
something else, but like
some-
contextually, I know what you mean.
yeah, like toxic positivity connotations.
Yeah.
And that's
Yes, it
not what
does.
we're talking
No,
about.
no,
It's like the
it's
opposite of what
absolutely-
we're saying
yeah.
here. But I think like art, and for me, like when I see art in it, like honestly, like I'm it's is low hanging fruit, but like Michael Scott in The Office, when he does something and I get that like awkward, like cringe twist in my stomach
Yeah.
feeling, or if like something offends me, I am like, yes,
Yeah.
this is like pushing at something in me that doesn't normally get pushed on.
Yeah.
And so it's like showing me something that maybe doesn't even need to be changed, but like I at the very least was not aware of
Right.
in the past. And so like,
Yeah.
oh, I have this like bias, a boundary, a prejudice, or like maybe it's showing me something that I'm actually interested in. Maybe this
Yeah.
like the rub, or like it doesn't always need to be that like, even if it is a heavy piece of work you're interacting with, and the like emotions it brings up are like often deemed as negative emotions,
Right.
like if you're like experiencing sorrow, your heart gets ripped out, that could be a very, and I think this is the point you're making, it's a very beneficial experience.
Yeah.
Actually.
Because I mean, even if it's like, yeah, because like I think fiction can teach you a lot, because there are perspectives you can get that literally don't even exist in real life.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
like, sure, there are perspectives where, let's say a piece is set in a country that you've never been in, you don't really know anything about it, and it shows you the struggles that people who live there have that you maybe weren't aware of. Okay, so that's a unique perspective that you just weren't aware of. But also, if the movie is about, let's circle back to dragons, I guess. If the movie is about a fucking dragon torching a town, like that's not a perspective you'll ever get in real life. I mean, if so, whoa. Like,
Yeah.
like so. But at the same time, if you're viewing it through the lens of people who live in a world where dragons exist, and I think that gives you a unique perspective. And I think if you're willing to switch on your brain, then like you can learn something from that.
Yeah.
You really can, because like your real life day to day, even if you're really empathetic, and even if you're willing to like look at things from different angles, and even if you're willing to reassess yourself, which is all really healthy and all really good, and you should do that, there are certain perspectives you really need to completely rewire the lens you're looking through to actually get them. And I just feel like you can get a lot out of that. And sometimes all you get out of it is experience. Sometimes you're not learning anything profound about yourself. Sometimes you're not like, wow, I never thought about that way, which those are great, and fiction can do that. But I think sometimes it's just like, if you get to like be present and you get to feel shit, that's great too. And I think it's profound. It really, that is it doesn't feel profound, but it is like, Alan Moore, who I absolutely adore, but he is a little crazy. And for anyone who doesn't know, he wrote Watchmen, V for Vendetta, The Killing Joke.
Okay.
He's huge. Oh, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, like all, but the graphic novels, like, anyways, that man, he's whack. He claims he's a sorcerer, but one of the reasons he says he's a sorcerer though is because he gave this freaking like thesis saying that fiction is literal magic, and it's like, all right, seems weird, but I'll listen because this is very entertaining. But he was basically like, think about it, it's a collection, or maybe it's just art is magic, I can't remember, but he was like, he's like, you use a collection of lines, symbols, letters, and words to change the way people think and feel. You're basically casting spells. And I was like, you know what?
You're not wrong.
He's not entirely wrong. Yeah. So, and like,
it's not the first time I've heard that. Yeah.
And I have a tendency to rail against like popcorn movies, even though I don't actually dislike them. But I think we have too much of them. Like we're oversaturated in like movies where you sit down, you have fun for 2 hours, and then a month later you completely forget you ever watched the damn thing. And I think movies like that still deserve to exist. But I think we're like so scared to try new things. That a lot of time people they fall so deep into like comfort food that like they're not willing to go outward, and so any subject matter that could make them uncomfortable, they just avoid like the plague. And maybe because of that I will fail, maybe because that's all I'm ever gonna make, maybe I'm gonna just not get anywhere, but like I don't know, I think those are fun. I'll sit down and watch a schlocky action flick, and I'll have a blast with it. Like dude, like I'll watch Commando any day of the week, but at the same time, like that's fine if you just want to be entertained for an evening, but I feel like you don't want to give yourself nothing but that. Like you're eating nothing but cupcakes, you know, in that case.
Can't
like,
live on cosmic brownies.
You fucking can't. We're not high schoolers anymore. Like can't do it. So yeah, I think I don't know. I like the robust meals on occasion. And I feel like since we don't get as many of those, that's kind of what I want to make. So hopefully I did that. Hopefully I did that with this book. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for only being like a quarter of the way through, I think you did. Like,
thank you. That's good to hear.
I've already like gleaned something beneficial from it, and I still got more to go. Like, and I mean, like, this is kind of my habit of reading books. I'll get into a little bit and then put it down for a while, and then I come back to it. If I like can maintain the motivation and have the motivation internally still to come back to this one. It's like the PDF is on my desktop, and I'm like, it's staying there until I'm done.
Hell yeah.
And so I was talking like this is so cool that this conversation is reflecting so many of the points I had in the conversation with Maggie about like art that pushes you, and we were talking about the scene here in Fort Wayne and how like it's difficult to make art like that happen in this community right now. But I said, and she agreed with me, that I believe there are people who want to make that kind of art. And I do believe there's an audience that wants to see that kind of art. And so absolutely. Like, now it's about creating the avenues to bring those two together. And just like making it happen.
I know it's cool. It's a cool combination of things because first of all, I think we are getting more resources slowly in Fort Wayne to actually be able to build what we want to build. Which again, if somebody wants to make a shitty low end slasher flick locally, they should still be able to do that if that's what they want to do. I like even if I think it's trash, if they have a true passion for it and they love it and the people involved are all having a good time and no one's being hurt, then I think it's great. I think go for it.
I'll watch it once.
I probably would, especially if I knew somebody involved.
If it's local,
maybe I'll watch it twice. You know, I think it's also, I think it's cool that we're getting a little more of that. I think the theater community has always been pretty robust in Fort Wayne, but it's getting even bigger. I think the film community is getting bigger. I think just a lot of arts in Fort Wayne are starting to expand. But on top of that, and this applies to Fort Wayne, this is what you just said, but I think it applies to Fort Wayne, but I also think it applies, I'll say nationally. I guess I can't speak to worldwide, but at least nationally, that one of the reasons we get all these kind of lowball movies, these you know, like, I mean, look at the decay of Marvel and Star Wars, like they're just gone so downhill. It's because I don't think it's because there's no demand for movies outside of that. I think it's because that's all that gets advertised, and people don't realize that there's other stuff. there's some movies that come out that I'm like, this is the best shit I've ever seen, but it's like one theater in town
Yeah.
played one showing once a weekend
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course nobody knew this movie existed. It's like, it's not that they wouldn't like it. It's that they don't realize it's there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think if people know that they have other options, and they don't have to just watch the 12th Transformers movie. Like, and if they love those movies, then they should watch them. That's fine. But, you know, if they're like, well, we wanted to go see a movie, and this is all that I know that's out, so okay, we'll go see that. Like, yeah, I think if people are aware that they do want to see, and not even just for movies, you know, they want to experience the art that we're maybe not seeing as much of. And who knows? Maybe if I got the craziest advertising ever for this book, and like somehow it was on billboards across Fort Wayne, everybody knew about it. Maybe it still wouldn't do well. I don't know, but you know, I'd like to see. I'd like to see what people think. I'd like to see it reach places. It doesn't need to be a national bestseller. I just want to see what happens. With Fort Wayne at least,
and like be able to do another one.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
That's my definition of success doing live shows. It's like if we, at the end of this show, can do another one, monumental success.
Yes, yeah, you're on track. Yeah.
Like if we're, I don't care if we're not making like a massive profit on these things, but if we can do another one,
if you're able to keep doing
that's
it,
great. Like just to be able to sustain doing something that you thoroughly enjoy in life is like that's really awesome.
Yeah, and that's what's funny about, like, because I love doing this, but like writing, I have, especially when I was writing this book, I had a regular full-time job that would often run late. So like I was just writing it like when I could. And then I had a brief period. I had like a free like month or so. Long story, but where I was like, I could just write every day. And so that like caught me up pretty fast. But yeah, so it's like finding time to do it's tricky, especially among my other jobs and my other hobbies, which I'm trying to blur the lines between them as much as possible. But yeah, so it's like opportunities to write will increase if the writing is more worth doing. And it's worth doing for me, like personally. I still love doing it, but it is very time consuming and effort consuming. So it's like if I have to burn other opportunities to do other things to write, I'm only going to want to do that if the writing seems like a worthwhile endeavor.
We're only on this earth for a short amount of time, so got to make the best use of it. I think there's wisdom in that. And so I'll tell people, go buy the book. It's a good book. I want this next one to get published. And I mean, if anybody in a bookstore in Fort Wayne is like listening and wants to pick a bunch of copies up and put it on the shelf, I think that'd be super cool.
That would be awesome. Like, I would love that.
I want to see more of that. Like that's a big part of my intentions behind this project is to allow people like yourself who are doing cool stuff in Fort Wayne to talk about it. I mean,
because it's
like a billboard.
Marketing, writing the book took a while, but I wouldn't say it was difficult, as in like, I don't know, like I had an idea. I knew what I wanted to write. I outlined extensively, and then I was like, all right, this is what I'm going to write. It's fun. I like this. So since I wanted to do it and it was enjoyable, that part wasn't hard. But I'm like, well, now that it's written, who's gonna fucking read this thing? Like I mean, it's been out for actually a while now, and initial sales were awesome because people I knew who knew I published it told their friends and stuff, but then it died down. And I'm like, well, it's not about like turning a huge profit, but I just want it to get a little further out there. So I want to see what I can do marketing wise. And I'm like, I'm going to try to lean in on the local level and be like, hey, dude from Fort Wayne wrote a book. Do other Fort Wayne people want to read this thing? So I think that'd be pretty cool. If I can do that.
Definitely. And there's a little writers community here in Fort Wayne too. I know another guy who's written a couple books here in town, and like I need to buy his as well. Last time I ran into him, he was getting reprinted with a new cover. It was really cool. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait till you got the new covers in stock.
Nice. Man, that's another thing. The Vanity Press I went through, they made the cover, which kind of sucks because I wanted to like seek out like an artist to do it, preferably a local artist.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was part of their bundle, and they're like, "Well, you're paying for it. We don't have to make it, but like you're still paying for it." And I was like, "Okay, fine." But then there's like, I don't know, the blurb on it's not really a blurb, but the thing on the back that kind of summarizes the book. I don't remember how much of that I wrote and how much of it they wrote, but like, I'm like, I don't love it. Like, I don't love the way it advertises it. I feel like it cheapens it a little bit, but like, but I don't know if that's just me being critical because I'm like I'm like seeking for things that could make people not want to buy it. Like
maybe.
And honestly, I'm not even kidding for anyone listening. If you can contact me, if you promise to like leave reviews places, I do have a handful of free copies, and I'm willing to give some out. Like cool. I really am. I did this on another podcast, and he thought it was really weird that I did this. But he was
go for it.
He was like, all right, that was an unexpected little thing, but what a good deal, right? That
is a great deal.
Yeah. But yeah, no, seriously, if people want to contact me directly, like whether you're just strapped for cash or it's like you're interested but you don't actually want to buy it and this would push you to read it. Like it was like if I could have somebody who wasn't going to read it but me offering it for free gets them to read it, I'll eat that. Like I would if you can support me, that's awesome, but like that's not the point right now. Like I'm not gonna lie, the money I spent for the Vanity Press, probably not making it back. I'm probably, and that's fine.
It's all right.
That's fine. That's not the point. That's not the point.
Yeah.
I would rather have high sales numbers than high money gains, for this one specifically, at least. Yeah. Because I'd like this to push me forward a little bit, but also I want people to just like the book.
Yeah.
And I heard somewhere that if you can just get people, if you can just get people to read it, whether they're paying you for it or not, if you can just get people to read it, review it, and then maybe recommend it to people. Yeah. Like that's how you gain traction. And it's not numbers because I'm trying to get rich. Like, who fucking wants to be an author to be rich?
Right.
Well, you think I'm just gonna? My dream is to be J.K. Rowling and just live in a castle? Yeah, fucking right.
Sounds overrated.
She is a little overrated. She's fallen out of grace in the past several years anyway.
Real.
So
separate the
definitely
art from the artist.
Definitely don't want to be. Definitely don't want to be that. But
it's such a funny world.
It is
such
a
funny scene.
It's the thing. I'm like, I don't think I'm owed anything, but like, I'm just like, I want to try to be a good person, and I want books that people will like. And the more the merrier, not because it means I'm successful or doing well, but like, I don't know, it's me contributing. That's what I can contribute. That's what I feel like that's what I'm good at. What I'm good at, I think, is telling stories to some degree or another. That's why I majored in film. Who else? Why else would you major in film? So if I know that I'm reaching people with it, and they're getting something out of it, then that's cool. And I would love to spread that. I'd love to spread that. If I became a New York Times bestseller for any book that I published, it wouldn't be because I'm like, I'm hot shit now, baby. Suck it, bullies from middle school. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm just like, oh, cool. Like that means that many more people, like I did something for them, because I know some of the most impactful works of fiction for me. And I think if I knew I did that for somebody else, that'd be crazy, and that'd feel really good. And it's not all about feeling good, but like I feel like I did something. I feel like I contributed. Yeah, I feel like I actually like provided for people. Yeah, which is nice. Like I don't know, we should all be trying to do that.
Yeah, that's how it is for me with music. Like I think of the people. I mean, my great grandpa's best friend that gifted me my first acoustic guitar, and like my mom tried to hand him a check and he was like, no, this is a gift. Yeah. And like I've reflected on that moment many times since then, and like now as an adult I think like, he didn't just give me a guitar, he gave me a job.
Yeah. It's like
this is a tool. He
physically gave you a guitar, but like he was offering more than that,
so much more.
And that's super cool.
And so if I can like, play a couple small shows here and there, and maybe some young person is like, that seems kind of cool.
Right.
There's one of those sitting in my grandpa's garage. Maybe I can do something with that. Then like, and I might even never know. Right. And like, but so many of the people who did that for me we'll never know. And so like that's
Yeah.
kind of the crazy thing about being an artist is like a friend of mine said it's like we just call out into the void
Yeah.
and hope that someone hears it.
Yeah,
And
because like it's the most positive ripple effect out there.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you know, when you break down, when you really break down inspirations, and you're like, oh well, this piece of work only exists because of this one, which only exists because of this one, and you can trace it all the way back to like 70 years ago, and it's like that's awesome because this movie is like one of my favorites, and it had a profound effect on me, but never would have gotten made if somebody however many years ago didn't make. It's probably the Searchers. Let's be fair. But you know, like
Probably Bob Dylan, let's be
probably,
real.
yeah, exactly. Like there's the ones that like started everything.
Yep,
Probably
Chuck Berry.
Shakespeare. Probably Tolkien. So, but yeah, it's like
Len
yeah,
Belly.
yeah, exactly. So it's cool. Like
That's awesome.
I love that shit. So I would love to, you know, it's I don't know, you get to be a part of something, but not because it's not like you're desperately trying to be part of something. It's not like you're just like I want to belong somewhere. Like it's like you really want to be with it. Like you really want to be with people and see what that turns into.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
That's why I'm willing to offer some free books.
Hell yeah. Take them up on that offer. That's a great deal. Yeah.
Not a joke.
That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate that.
If you
That's
don't have my
awesome.
contact info, I'm just sure we'll put it somewhere in this podcast or something.
Well, that's a great segue. What do you want to? Where can people go to connect with you? I'll put links in the show notes
Solid.
to stuff for you as well. So,
Gotcha.
what's,
I mean,
what's
frankly,
a good place to reach out?
Yeah, since I only have one book published, I didn't see the need to make an author's website. Maybe that's a faux pas, but it's there, I only have one book. What would I put on there?
One page.
Yeah, literally just a single page with the one book. I bet you may as well go to
Maybe an about page.
I know, like you may as well go to the site where you can buy the book from.
Yeah.
Which, for the record, if you can either get it off of Amazon or Barnes and Noble or Doran's Publishing is
I'll link to that. Is that what you sent me?
That's what I sent you.
That's
Yeah,
where, that's where I bought it from. So I'll
Doran's
put
is
the direct link to that.
is the vanity press, and I do technically get the most out of you getting it from there, but you don't have to. Whatever's
It's
easiest for you.
just as easy to
Whatever's easiest
enter
for
payment
you.
info on there. So that's what I'm going to link people to.
But you can link up with me through Facebook. I'm not huge on social media, which is another thing I need to work on for marketing. But honestly, you could also just email me. It's gerkelb@gmail.com.
Sweet.
So like literally just contact me in any of those ways. Is perfectly acceptable. Do I probably need more ways for people to contact me? Yeah, that'd be beneficial, I think.
Yeah, same here, but it you know, it is what
networking
it
is
there are a few
hard.
channels, and so
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
just trying to focus on the few channels I have established.
and I just don't do
keeping
much with
those
social media,
intact.
which is like the problem because it's like I don't know where to. You know, people are like, "Well, you need a social media presence," and it's like, okay, but like, what do? I just make an author. I make a page. You know, I make an Instagram that's for me as an author, not just as a person. But then what? Just like invite everybody. Like they'll be like, I don't care about this. Like that doesn't spread the word. That just like you're only gonna send it out to people who already know you, who already know you have a book, and they're either promoting it or they're not. So yeah, I don't know where to go with that. That's the tricky thing.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat of like, how do I get people to know that I'm doing this project?
Yeah,
And
that's why I thought to come here, because I was like, I need to, if I'm marketing it and putting an emphasis on local, like what outlets are there for people to know that this book exists?
Yeah.
That aren't like my literal relatives.
Yeah, I'm brainstorming some renegade bullshit that I might pull here around town to try and get the locals in.
I know, yeah, like because I have like little promo cards. I'm like, what do I just like sneak them places? Slap them on stop signs.
That's
Like
honestly what I'm thinking about doing, is like putting a QR code on a sticker with like the name of the show and just slapping that all over town.
Yeah,
or
so
on
like,
other signs that have stickers already.
well, and you know, you go to coffee shop sometimes and they'll just have like a cork board, and you can stick whatever you want on there. And I'm like, well, maybe I
look at
should.
that stuff. So
I'm like, maybe I should. Maybe I should go to some of these places and just be like, here's a book.
I think I should too. So maybe we'll try and
go on a tour.
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee shop cycle. So that it would at least motivate me to do it.
Yeah.
Not doing it now.
For sure. Right. Well, we definitely got to do this again sometime. Like
Yeah,
this was
we
super
should.
fun.
We should.
Like I'm really glad that I'm doing this project because it does get me connected with people. Like I had
Yeah,
Haley, formerly Dunlap, now Sturzenberger,
that's
who
fun
we
to
went to
say.
high school with.
Oh
She
yeah.
was on the show, and like
Oh
I think
really?
yeah, it was the first time I had seen her in several years
Oh,
when
that's
she came
so
on. She
cool.
told her like birthing stories. She's birthed two babies and
Jeez.
like went into all that, and I just like listened, well, slack jawed the entire time. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
It's all
That's
it's a
insane.
yeah.
What that is. So this project has been really cool for like just getting to sit down with people from the good old days that are now doing cool shit as well,
Yeah.
and to talk about the cool shit we do.
Yeah,
It's
it's
cool.
catching up with people, but like minus the depression, you know, where it's like so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, what happened to them? And then you see them and you're like, oh no. Like,
Sometimes.
it's
And hopefully in another 10 years they're on the other swing of
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
you can only
they really
hope.
bounce back,
Can
but
only hope.
life is a long and winding road.
Yeah.
And
But
hopefully we're still at the beginning end of it. Being in, yeah, well, we were in the same graduating class,
yeah.
so I turned 30 in the spring, so
Yep. And
it's pretty awesome.
I'm a few months from 31, so
Yeah, nice.
but it doesn't feel as shitty as I expected it to,
Right,
which is
right.
kind of great.
Yeah. I'm actually feeling really
I
good
got a lot of
hitting
gray
30.
hair.
But I
Uh,
mean, it's dark to begin with, so
the
like
cool,
I've got a few that have
yeah,
popped in, but you can't tell because
yeah, yeah.
I'm blonde.
Look at that. I'm looking right at it.
Yeah, I'm
There's a
sitting you
mirror
right in
over
front
there,
of
and
a
I'm looking
mirror.
right at it. Yeah. The cool thing is, I'm graying like my parents, where it comes in from the sides, so it almost
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
intentional.
Yeah, that's the cool way to gray. If you gray
So
all over, it's a little
yeah.
less doesn't seem as cool for some
It
reason.
doesn't,
I
because
don't
it well
know.
then it just looks like you're getting old.
Yeah,
But
yeah. This you're getting
if you're doing
wise.
your like pepper and salt instead of salt and pepper, then people are like, "Ooh, there's something kind of appealing about that."
Yeah.
You look like a suave businessman now.
They like advertise that the swab for men will leave you
Yeah, you got
looking
that
like
George
that.
Hamilton
Yeah.
look. Like it's
Sometimes a little gray around the temples
yeah, I can deal with that as long as
makes
it
you
doesn't.
seem like you've
As,
seen some cases in the boardroom
yeah,
or the courtroom or something. I'm
as long
thinking
as it
lawyers.
as long as it doesn't accelerate.
Yeah. You got to find that medium ground. You can't be
Yeah,
too old, but you can't be too young either
I know. I'm
in
like
this world.
my hair is black as the blackest
It
night,
really
so
is.
the gray is very noticeable.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
rough, yeah.
Yeah.
But
But good to catch up with you,
oh
dude.
my god, I
We're
know.
definitely gonna do this
Yeah, we
again,
should. We
and
absolutely
hope
should.
like try and hang out outside of stuff like this.
Yeah,
Like
no, I think
being
that'd be
like
great.
adulting is crazy and the world is
It's
insane, but
yeah.
like I want to try and do more like social things. Actually, here in the East End Eclectic, I'm brainstorming doing like some free acoustic shows,
Woo!
like in the afternoons,
That'd
on
be
the
cool.
weekends, just like little things to
Yeah.
like put on a little art, give people like a bit of a show,
Yeah.
but also create a place where people can like drink coffee and talk to each
Hang
other.
out.
That's like not going to a bar or like
Yeah, and it's like a
work or something like
yeah,
that. I don't
it's
know. I
like a
feel like we
laid
need more of
back
that kind of stuff.
no pressure event
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
just kind of get to you get an atmosphere going. There's things to
uh-huh.
appreciate, but you also can just hang out. It doesn't have to be
Yeah,
any. I
yeah.
think
You
that
can
shit's
listen to the
cool.
music
Yeah.
and just be a lurker,
Yeah,
or
dude.
and leave when you're done,
There's
or
actually
you
so
can
many
like be super
cool
social.
so many cool things that do go on around town, but you just don't know
Yeah,
about them. Like
yeah,
there are all
yeah.
these like groups and like events that I'll hear about. And like that sounds cool, and then I go to it.
Hmm.
I'm like, this was really fun. I'm glad this was a thing. And then
Yeah,
they're like, oh well, it's been a thing for months and it happens every
right.
week. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I know,
Like,
right? Yeah.
like how are you
So
supposed to figure out about this shit?
if
Like,
there's anybody listening doing that kind of stuff, get a hold of me. I'll get you on the show. We'll
oh
talk.
hell yeah,
We'll talk about your weekly thing that you're doing at a coffee shop I've never heard of.
yeah,
Because yeah, I want to know about this stuff too. So I figure
yeah.
other people want to know about it as well.
Promoting is so
Yeah,
hard. That's
yeah,
like, yeah, it's like half of it. Again,
yeah.
I'm not saying that if I get promotion, I'm just gonna like get book sale after book sale. Like if
Hmm.
I remember when I was when I was sending out beta reads. It was kind of hilarious. because the first several were overwhelmingly positive, and I was like, "Ooh, this is almost problematic," because I was like, "I'm gonna get a big head if too many people tell me this book's good." And then finally, this old British guy read it, and he fucking hated it, and I was like, "Thank God!"
Finally, someone hates it. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
He was like curmudgeon-y British man. It was wonderful. I loved hearing how much he did not like it. It was actually great. Like, I'm not one of those people who like wants most people to hate it. I'm like, no, I want a very eclectic, clandestine group. It's a very elite kind of story. But like, yeah, and you know, like, you'll go to things. You'll go to fucking just like German Fest, and there's a tent. Someone's selling their book.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, do you just call the German Fest people? How did you even get here? Also, it's like, your book's not German. Like, I didn't know they would let you do that. So it's like, there's all these opportunities that you didn't know existed. And I'm like, how do you find those?
I think it is just that easy. I think you just got to find the email address of somebody.
Dude, it probably is.
Or like a Facebook message. Like, that's how you got on this. Like, it was as easy as like, hey, what's up? Talk about book? Yes.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm saying that for myself. Like, I've had that come up where like someone tags me in a Facebook comment and I shoot an email and I've got a gig the next week.
Yeah,
like,
that shit's crazy. It was like networking. It's like so weird, and I don't know the ins and outs of it yet.
But I think you do got to get out and talk to people. Like that's the best way to promote a thing. In my experience, is like just like word of mouth promotion is always the most valuable, at the very least in the long term. Like,
it is,
and so that's why you're offering people your book for free.
That
to
is
tell their friends and like review it. I think that's smart. So
they thought me mad at the last podcast, where I was like, if you contact me, you can just. Like, I could tell the host was like shook. And it's funny, he's a friend of mine too. Like, it's like funny. I know him, but I think he just was. It was even at the plug section. Like the podcast itself wasn't about the book, but he's like, "Well, do you have anything going on? Do you have any projects you want to plug? Like, do you want to promote anything?" And I was talking about the book, and then I was like, you know what? Also, if anyone contacts me directly, I will give you a free copy.
Is he still doing that podcast?
Yeah, I'm actually. I think I'm recording another episode with him in like a week.
Oh
or
shit!
So.
Plug it. What is it?
Hell yeah! All right, Jake Baker, you're welcome. Yeah, it's called Clear Tinted Classics.
Clear Tinted Classics. Okay,
with Jake Baker, Ryan Baker. He likes the middle name, as do I, because my author tag on my book is Lucas B. Gerke. So I don't blame him. Yeah, it's funny. He talks about. I mean, it's evolved a little bit, but he talks about, it's mostly he'll watch a classic movie that everyone's seen that he simply hasn't, and he'll go into it with no nostalgia.
Oh, neat.
And give his honest like review. But he's started having guests on.
Oh, sweet.
And I've been on a few times. We talked about Blade Runner. We talked about The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum one.
Oh, nice.
We talked about Battle Royale. And now we're talking about the Hunger Games, which is great because anyone who knows me knows that I fucking hate the Hunger Games.
I was like, wait, you're talking about the Hunger Games?
Yes, and that's why I'm so excited about it, because he was like, he literally posted on Facebook, he was like, hey, I'm thinking about doing a whole series, and I've never actually watched the Hunger Games. He's like, does anyone want to do this with me? And I was like, please.
You've been waiting
my opportunity
for this chance.
My moment in the sun. And
that's gonna be awesome.
And he's like, are you willing to do all the movies? And I was like, please. So that was the last episode we did, was we talked about the first Hunger Games movie. And
that's gonna be awesome. Yeah, send me a link to that. I'll link to that show. That's rad.
I will. It's a good one, and he's great. And he's
is he here in Fort Wayne?
Yeah, he's local.
Oh hell yeah, that's local. Awesome. I want to know about more Fort Wayne podcasts. And so that's awesome to know that he's doing that.
I met him because when I was in college, they set me up with an internship with a guy. More plugs. Let's do it. With a guy named Dan Catter, who runs a company called Media 401 in Fort Wayne, and they make like commercials, promotional videos. Okay. I mean, it's a media company, this, that, and the other. Sweet. And he mentored me. I feel like I've had very few mentors throughout my life, but he's one of the big ones.
Nice.
So Dan, thank you. I don't know if you'll ever hear this, but but the internship was awesome because he literally was like, hey, I'm working with these guys to make a local film. Your internship hours are going to be so easy. He's like, if you just come on the weekends, it's like 12-hour shoots. And I was like, That's great.
Nice.
He's like,
Nice.
also, I'm not supposed the university told me I'm not supposed to pay you, but if you're on a commercial shoot with me that I'm getting paid for, you're getting paid for it.
Nice.
And so, but anyways,
That's respectable.
oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
I was like,
that's good.
yeah, I was a college kid holding the fucking boom mic, and then I'd get a check later, and I was like, I'm just doing this for a grade. So that's awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, so I met Jake through that because he's very deep in the local film community, and he's made a lot of shorts. Submitted a lot of them to Hobnobbin. If any of you go to the film festivals, his latest one called The Escort, I helped him with, and it was awesome.
Cool.
It was great. In that short block, and I have no bias. I've worked with people on projects that I thought were shit, but I just wanted to help them out, and I support them anyway.
Nice.
But so I say this with no bias at all. The Escort in that film block at Hobnobbin was the best one by far,
Nice.
and I thought it was awesome. So
Sweet.
he's great. He's really nice. He's funny.
Awesome.
And his podcast is very entertaining, and
Nice.
I have a lot of fun being on it too.
Cool.
So.
Get me his info. I want
will.
to reach out to this guy.
I will. He's cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, like I said, we're doing Catching Fire in like a week. Which admittedly, I'm the least ragey about that one.
Really?
It's probably the least shitty of the four. But
I'm stoked about
once
that.
we hit the third movie, I'm gonna be on fire.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be on absolute fire. Because the first one, he was like, "Wow, I expected you to be a lot more angry," and I was like, "We're getting there.
We're just getting started,
I'm
boy.
cooking. I'm cooking."
That's gonna be awesome. Thanks for coming on the show, Lucas.
Hell yes,
Great
I was
to
very
have
happy
you.
to
Great
be
to
here.
have you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on the show, Lucas. It was great to have you. Great to see you. I want to see you more, and we got to do it again sometime. I really, really, really enjoyed this one. If you can't tell, I was like just cackling my ass off for this one. I don't know. Lucas has always had a straight shot at my funny bone. His book is like not funny though. That's really the kicker. It's pretty interesting how that stuff works out. But yeah, let's see. Buy the book. Check out the podcast that he did. Shoot him an email if you want a copy. Subscribe to the Patreon. Come to the ecstatic dances. Come see me at a show. You know, it's summertime. It's almost summertime. We gotta get out and live life. So do that. Join me, and let's live life up in the fort. That's what it's about, right? That's what it's about. For the closing song on today's episode, I picked a track from the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. If you know, that's a fairly popular anime show out there, and I always, in my mind, Lucas is I think Lucas is probably the person that got me into anime, like, and actually really digging it. I watched some Dragon Ball Z when I was like in kindergarten, but then actually the art form that is contained within Japanese cartoon anime, I came to understand and respect hanging out with Lucas in high school. We never actually watched Cowboy Bebop, but I think this track will close out this episode quite well. Thank you for listening, everybody. Take care of yourselves out there. Treat each other well. And I'll see you next time. I'm leaving you with Diggin' My Potato by Seatbelts. Take care.